Welcome back everyone to another episode of NBA 2K14. In the last episode, the first game saw the Oklahoma City Thunder hose off, defeat the Clippers and down to the wire. In the second game, the Chicago Bulls dominate the Denver Nuggets and now on the road for Chicago. And now coming up next are the game in our hand. It's off to Phoenix Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. It features the two of the Southwest Division rivals. It features Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs take on Marc Gasol and the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's check out sounds is ready to go. Yep, it's ready. So today's game, or the first game on our hand, we're up the Phoenix Forum in Memphis. First matchup today with pitchers heading to Memphis, and after that we're going to Los Angeles. First game of the night, we'll heads to Phoenix Forum Memphis. Features the two of the Southwest rivals will meet again in the rematch of the Western Conference Finals. It features Tony Parker and Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs take on Marc Gasol and Mike Conley of the Memphis Grizzlies. And for this game, the Spurs going to use the black and the Grizzlies going to use the white. Well, that will do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We'll be right back after this. Enjoy the video here in Memphis. For this game, the Spurs going to use the black and the Grizzlies going to use the white. And further ado, we are sending over to Kevin Harlan here in Phoenix from Memphis. Anyways, let's get started. Enjoy the video here in Phoenix from. Here we go.
Welcome, basketball fans, to 2K Sports. I'm David Bruce, and a terrific NBA season continues to take shape. It's the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. The NBA on 2K Sports.
It's a Western Conference battle at the FedEx Forum in downtown Memphis as the Grizzlies look to work the home court advantage. 2K Sports brings you Friday night NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. On the sideline tonight, Doris Burke. Now a chance to check out tonight's starting lineups. One of the guys we'll be watching out for today, Zach Randolph.
Well, he's someone who can just demolish you on the glass, and that's really his goal when he goes into the game. He is looking to dominate the paint.
And you know, the thing he might do better than anything else, guys, is bang the offensive glass. I mean, he really works hard at that.
You take a look at San Antonio. They're faced now with what is probably the easiest part of their schedule. They've got a lot of home games on the docket, but they can't take anything, guys, for granted.
Well, Kevin, they're going to be very well acquainted with this club by the end of the season. They'll see them 4 times, and game 1 already went their way.
And doing it again here in the second game would be big. I mean, large. It would really establish them as the dominant figure in these matchups.
But you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Tony Parker had a phenomenal 2011-2012 campaign, but as is the case with Greg Popovich, he challenged Parker to improve upon that for last season. Popovich told him, good players can be great for a little bit, but great players are always great. And that really resonated with Parker.
And here's Duncan, following the 3 from Tracy McGrady. That's good. Duncan's got his first bucket of the night.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play it.
Here's Gasol. Drops one in from the wing. Think about how great Parker's been. We forgot his career almost came to an end in the summer of 2012. This is a very interesting part of his career.
That's right. He was an innocent bystander at a club in New York when a melee erupted and bottles were thrown. He got a shard of glass that penetrated almost through his left eye. Very easily could have lost his vision and lost his career.
Randolph gets the screen from Conley. The leader, again Memphis. Well, it was the Memphis Grizzlies winning their last game against the Warriors in Oakland.
Yeah, that was a strange game. Very shaky defensive performance by their opponent, but hey, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard as they should have.
Now here's Gasol. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against the Warriors in Oakland.
You know, guys, the Grizzlies are a bit of a throwback team, and I like their moniker of grit and grind. It really was their identity of toughness and physicality. I thought that's how they played, and as a result, they had a terrific season.
Got a piece of it, and that's out of bounds. Memphis will retain possession. Well, you might have been wondering who the top scoring small forwards have been over the last 10 games. Wonder no more. Here's a peek. Fifth, Tayshaun Prince.
You know, a lot of the NBA's most explosive players man that small forward position, and you're looking at a pretty good collection of them right there.
Steve, I'd say more than pretty good. Those are the guys that give opposing defenses nightmares on a regular basis.
Rejected by Duncan. Kicks to Leonard. From the wing. That's good. Great play set up by T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. But Clark, you mentioned the Grizzlies' old-fashioned style of play. There may be some changes in the offing. The new ownership group has made it a focal point to use, Steve, more advanced stats to inform their decision-making analytics.
Well, and what will be interesting, Kevin, is that most advanced stats and advanced stat gurus will tell you need three-point shooting. This was a very poor three-point shooting club a season ago. So I would expect them to start going more in that direction, but you can't get away from your identity, which is the low-post game of Gasol and Randolph.
Here's Parker after the made shot from Zach Randolph. Backing him down is Duncan. Parker, Spurs passing it around. And Leonard gets it to go.
Fantastic pass. He turned that one into a pretty easy basket for his teammate.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, I had a chance to talk with head coach of the Grizzlies. I asked him what they needed to key in on defensively, and he said, well, we've got to limit penetration by Tony Parker. He's really the, quote, head of the snake, and with his floater, he doesn't need to get all the way to the rim to score. It's crucial that we do our best to keep him outside the lane. Guys, that's no easy assignment. We'll see how much success they have defensively.
Thank you, Doris. So timeout called here, but first for Memphis. Victory eluded them last time in San Antonio when they took on the Spurs.
Kevin, that game defensively was an absolute nightmare. They went into that building and just got blown out by a very hot team.
Well, they didn't defend those shooters like they should have, and once the fans got into it and the arena started rocking and thumping and bumping, things only got worse.
Here's Franklin, 6 on the shot clock. Rejected by Mills. Duncan kicks to Jackson. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
Wow, just a tremendous first quarter shooting the basketball for them, guys.
Yeah, when they put it up, it's going in.
Here's Franklin, and it's sent back by Bellinelli. Here's Jackson. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. And the Grizzlies making a change here.
I thought San Antonio really was an outstanding team. Fun to watch, excellent at both ends of the floor, but one statistical thing that stood out was they defended at a high level without committing a lot of fouls. That takes discipline and smarts.
Davis, the pass to Bayless. And Davis backs down. Will it go? That's good. There's 21 seconds left to play in the first. Duncan dishes to Splitter. Count the bucket. Splitter's got his first points of the game.
I couldn't have dreamt of a much better start than what they've had here today.
Everything's worked, especially offensively, and what a lead they have already to show for it.
Textbook right there. Nice pass, great catch, beautiful finish.
Tipped into Tim Duncan. Just 3 on the clock, and it's good on the way in. Duncan's got 6. And an overpowering first quarter effort. Already a double-digit advantage. Spurs lead by 12. Live from the FedEx Forum, you're watching 2K Sports.
Wednesday, November 27th, Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks take on Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers. Don't miss it.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Spurs.
Well, they've definitely had the hot hand from the three-point line so far. Always nice to start out like that.
Something else they've been able to do so far tonight is earn those tough points in the paint.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups. Courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the floor for San Antonio. Jeff Pendergraph out there with Steven Jackson. Then it's Tracy McGrady, and it's Splitter, and it's Parker in at the one.
And out of Arizona, Jared Bayless slashing combos on. His jump shot is a little streaky, but he's really good at attacking off the dribble and drawing fouls.
The Grizzlies trail by 15. Pass to Davis. Pendergraph on him. Puts up the baby hook. And another basket for Memphis. San Antonio's gone along perfectly from three-point range. Tonight they've gone 5 for 5. And Bayless stepping into that reserve role in Memphis last season.
It was really a perfect role for him, Kevin. He backed up Mike Conley, but also played alongside Conley as the two-guard. Bayless is a combo. He can score, he can handle the ball and make decisions as well, but really kind of found his niche in the league last season.
That's good.
A wide-open three. They need much better communication defensively.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
You know, you shoot the ball as poorly as they did that night, you're not going to win many games.
Well, Steve, it's not just difficult to win a game with low shooting percentages like theirs. It's nearly impossible.
Parker gets to McGrady. Back to Parker. That's good. Great play set up by T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. 6 points for Tony Parker. Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Gentlemen, last year, Greg Popovich received a $250,000 fine from the league for sitting out his starters in that game against Miami. They cracked down, but it wasn't the first time he rested his top players on a back-to-back. Pop explained the philosophy this way, saying, quote, "We're making a wiser decision and not a macho decision. It's about health and safety of players so that we have a shot at the end of the year. If I was taking my son or daughter to the game, I'd be disappointed. So I understand that perspective. Hopefully, they'll understand my perspective. My priority is the basketball team and what is best for it. Guys, it's always a balancing act."
It certainly is. Thank you, Doris. Marc Gasol's checked in for the Grizzlies.
A lot of what Memphis has done to build its team would have to be considered taking the undervalued approach. You look at guys like Zebo, Marc Gasol, and most recently Jared Bayless. Those were good players that really have found a nice home in Memphis. Good ball movement. You put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be.
And that'll be San Antonio as it goes out of bounds. Spurs retain possession. Well, you know your low post players are going to take a lot of trips to the foul line. So it helps to have big men who can drain free throws like this group can. Third, Zach Randolph. The fourth spot held by Marc Gasol.
Well, a lot of these big men take the confidence they have in the paint straight to the free throw line.
Yep, some of them do that. Exactly, and we can see the reason why in those numbers. In general, the composure of all those players show up at the free throw line.
Well, Clark just talking about Memphis. They really have taken a group of players that were thought to be non-impact roster spots, and Steve did turn things around with them.
Kind of comes across in the way the entire team plays. It's a blue-collar group, Kevin. Some cast-offs, guys with a chip on their shoulder, but they've got a toughness and an edge about them. And I think it's really helped this team create its identity.
Tim Duncan, he's checked in for San Antonio. There's Parker with the three. Shot's good. Parker's got 11 points.
Well, it looks like he's finally found his footing in this game. His first quarter was a real struggle, but he's got it going now. Oh, we have a moment now to check out the story on Marc Gasol. A lot of great basketball from him this year. First in free throw percentage, fourth in blocks. And, of course, he's in the top 15 in rebounding, so a very strong presence in the paint.
Yeah, his focus from the line has been special, and that's one reason, Steve, he's at the top of the list in free throw shooting percentage, because his focus is on target, and he doesn't stray from that. His routine is excellent.
Oh, man, he goes old school on us with the finger roll. You know, it's interesting. Zach Randolph had a few off-the-court issues early in his career, especially when he was with the Portland Trail Blazers. And the Grizzlies gave up almost nothing to acquire him from the Clippers. But they've got to be glad that they did, because he's developed into an outstanding player and really a good teammate as well. He's become a leader of that club.
Pass to Allen. Back to Conley. Allen, right side. Just his first attempt. And that one falls coming off Conley's feet. Conley's got 3 assists in the game. Randolph was asked by someone in the press corps, why was he such a great fit in Memphis? He said, it's a blue-collar town. I'm a blue-collar type player. I kind of like that, Clark.
You know, that says it all right there to me. And I would factor in this too, Kevin. His strength and physicality certainly fit with the DNA of that team. Their culture is built on effort and bruising play. Zach Randolph fits into that nicely.
Steven Jackson's checked in for Tracy McGrady. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You look at the Spurs. They're in second, looking to take over the first spot. And checking out Memphis, just a few spots below there.
You know, for the Spurs, they've been outstanding so far this season. And, of course, we knew what a great team they have, but that doesn't make it any less impressive. They've really gotten everybody's attention.
Yeah, they're one of the teams that I look forward to watching as a broadcaster. Great talent, but it's the way they play together that's so appealing.
Conley gets the bucket. Spurs leading by 13. And stolen by Prince. Feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
I agree. They need more energy in the post, maybe some double teaming. They've got to get their defense in gear.
Duncan kicks to Mills. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
Well, I'll bet his teammates love playing with him. He's distributing the ball perfectly.
Well, he keeps everybody happy, and you know what? The assist numbers don't lie.
And we've reached halftime in this one. It's San Antonio leading by 14. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
Now, presented by Sprint.
This is 2K Sports, and I'm Damon Bruce, coming to you live on a Friday night. San Antonio on top against the Grizzlies at FedEx Forum. Off to a good start here in the early going of the season, playing above 500. Tony Parker making a statement in this one. We're at halftime, and still, he hasn't missed a shot. It's been a pure shooting exhibition. The Grizzlies on the other side, not looking nearly as good. They've been getting roundly outplayed up to this point, and they'll need a bounce-back effort to make up for it in the second half. Their leading scorer is Michael Conley. He's got 9 points, and he's also made plays for others, showing his court vision definitively in this one. NBA action just getting started here. Some games coming up a little bit later on tonight. Over at American Airlines Center, the Mavericks will face off against the Jazz. A good buzz always happening for that matchup. A 7:30 Eastern time is tip-off. And one game also on the docket. It'll be the Cleveland Cavaliers up against the Pelicans out in New Orleans. That one starting at 7 o'clock Eastern. And a look here at the other NBA action. It'll be the Golden State Warriors up against the Lakers out in Los Angeles. A 7:30 Eastern tip time. And that's it for us here in the studio. Time to send it on back out to Kevin Harlan and the gang for the start of the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. It's been a clinic from Tony Parker.
And what was most impressive was that his decision-making and shot-taking was very disciplined and efficient. Really an excellent half.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Whether it's been from mid-range or in tight, he is taking only what the defense has given him, and he's not trying to do too much. I love the flow and rhythm he's playing with here.
Zebo and Marcus All are up front. Conley and Allen are the guard set. And it's Prince in at the small forward. That's the lineup in the game for Memphis.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas. But the opposite was true with this group. They turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Spurs coach Greg Popovich throughout his career has seemed to strike a good balance between getting along with his players but also being demanding. Pop said, quote, "I'd say the guy I've been toughest on, and he's come through it all, is Tony Parker. He's listened to me and believed in what I told him, even when he was angry at me. He trusted me, and I'll always appreciate that. And Kevin, it's a partnership that's yielded a lot of success over the years."
They've become a terrific tandem. Thanks, Doris. And there's the pass to Randolph. And that one's good. Randolph's got 8 points. Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs are so good last year in the fourth was because they have so many options when possessions, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You've got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think, allows them to execute under pressure.
Conley kicks to Prince. He logs up the alley pass and finish off by Gasol.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better, the pass, the catch, or the slam.
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed. All of the above.
Now a timeout called by Memphis.
Guys, you look at the roster of this Memphis team, and they have a lot to offer: size and strength inside, playmakers on the perimeter, and improving an outstanding point guard in Mike Conley Jr., but you have to wonder, have they hit their ceiling?
Here's Conley. 9 points in the game so far. Duncan with the block. And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. Leonard the pass to Duncan. With the fadeaway. Again, the Spurs good for 2. Well, Clark had talked about the Grizzlies don't have a megastar that other teams do to lean on in crunch time. And Steve, they traded the closest thing to that in Rudy Gay last season.
Well, closest thing is right, Kevin. Rudy Gay was not a superstar. He was very, very good, but if he was a true superstar, they would not have moved him. So I think they just felt like they couldn't afford Gay's contract. They wanted to move on and play through their big men, Gasol and Randolph. And I think in the end, probably a wise decision because the team performed very well without Gay anyway.
Conley into the lane. Rufus. And a good offensive board. And he gets the bucket. Rufus has got his first 2 points of the night.
Rufus is an interesting player. Pretty good motor, pretty good skill for a big man. And so what he does is he'll step outside and make a shot. He can score on the inside by fighting for position. Nice young player.
Part of that is his quick hands. He just knows when to jump up and reach in with his hands to catch a defensive rebounder off guard and tip the ball back towards the rim.
Seems like every year, guys, you look at Tony Parker and he's found something else to add to his game. He's always improving.
That's what has to happen if they're going to turn this thing around. He's got to take charge. He's got to be aggressive and really look to push here offensively.
He's a big reason why they have the lead right now. He's made all of his field goal attempts thus far and remains hot from the floor.
Allen drives in. Duncan against him. He gets the shot to fall, and the defender wasn't set. He's called for the block and a 3-point play chance here. Last season for Tony Parker, arguably his best ever. 20 points a game, almost 8 assists. 52% Steve from the field. And there was even talk at midseason about maybe MVP consideration.
Well, his ability to score inside around the rim is amazing, but he's also become a master of knocking down the jump shot from that 15 to 18-foot range. But really, this team has been built now around Parker. Their offensive strategy completely tailored to suit his talents.
He's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
And Mills kicks to McGrady. Jackson. Back to McGrady. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time. McGrady's got 19 points. 43 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Koyen, covered by Mills. Feeds it to Bayless. For the three, hits the bucket. Bayless has got his third bucket of the night.
This is great. Three-pointers going down quickly at both ends.
Yeah, it took them no time to answer back on that possession.
And Jackson throws it down hard.
If they think that kind of defense is going to get it done against him, they're mistaken.
The Spurs making a switch here. Miller's checked in. The Spurs shooting their third free throw shot of the game.
Wait a
27 seconds left in the third. Here is Bayless, covered by Mills. And they double up this off. Miller, Memphis moving that ball around. A shot scored from Bayless.
He's definitely got that shot in his arsenal.
Mills with it. He's against Miller. Pendergraft banked in off the glass. Pendergraft's got 6 points.
And their field goal percentage continues to climb. They've really shot the ball well here today so far.
Yeah, and it's all about quality shot selection, smart shot selection. They've been very patient on offense.
The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Spurs out in front, opening up a huge gap. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports.
NBA action charges ahead. The Denver Nuggets take on Kevin Love and the Minnesota Timberwolves live next Wednesday night.
And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for San Antonio.
These long-range shots look like layups out there, guys.
They've also jumped on any opportunity they've had to attack the basket tonight. I mean, excellent penetration.
On the court for San Antonio, Corey Joseph is out there with Nando DeCote. Then there's Bellinelli, and it's Duncan, and it's Bonner in at the pivot spot, handing to Miller. Joseph dishes to DeCote. He feeds it to Bellinelli. Drills it from outside.
Clark, they're really struggling guarding that three-point line.
And they're not making up for it with their own shots from deep either, Steve.
Conley kicks to Randolph. Blocked. Here's Joseph. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
He got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play. I tell you, Tim Duncan turned back the clock last season, didn't he? One of his best in years. And one of his best seasons ever when it comes to blocking shots. For a guy who doesn't get a whole lot of elevation, it's his timing that allows him to be a shot blocker without bouncing real high.
So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor.
Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
Steven Jackson checked in for San Antonio. You know, back to Duncan, Steve, you could make a credible argument that with the exception of Larry Bird, no player in NBA history has been more successful while blessed with fewer hops. I mean, I don't know if you'd say he's athletic.
You're right. I mean, he's not real athletic, but, man, the skill, the savvy, just the incredible knowledge of the game. One of the great players of all time.
Just such a pro.
Yeah.
Just such a pro. And DeColo kicks to Joseph. 5 to shoot. And that one's good, DeColo.
And what jumps out at you guys, the assist totals. I mean, they have been dominant in that category. It's the ball movement, the player movement, great rhythm to their offense.
Clearly seems to me a different mindset between these teams.
Here's Pendergraft. Battles through traffic and lays it in.
This is outrageous. Every shot they're taking right now seems to be finding the mark.
Literally every shot. They are absolutely rolling.
Franklin gets a screen from Koufos. And it's Miller penetrating. Goes back up. And it's good on the way up.
He got a great read of where that miss was going. And That allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
DeColo passes to Joseph. Three-pointer. And Steven Jackson the basket on the assist from Joseph. 12 points for Steven Jackson.
Great outside shooting fueling this run.
And the defense getting bombarded. They just haven't been able to slow him down.
Franklin kicks to Kufis. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
And how did he get that to go?
Even after the whistle, I like the awareness, the alertness, and the presence of mind to finish the play.
So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor.
Guys, you go back to the shortened season a year before last, and the Spurs were the best team on the road, but last year they weren't nearly as dominant on the road. Still solid when leaving San Antonio, but far from the level they played at a couple of seasons ago.
Leonard kicks to Duncan. And it's San Antonio with another.
Well, he doesn't waste too many of those chances close to the basket.
Here's Franklin. McGrady covering. Doubled by Bonner. Franklin kicks to Kufis. Melo gets it to go. And for the Spurs on the road last season, they would still win 23 games in hostile territory. And while that is more than the 22, Steve, they won in the shortened season, they also lost a fair amount more as well.
Well, for the Spurs, Kevin, I think they did what they needed to do. You know, the Spurs manage the regular season. They know when to turn it on and when they can maybe relax a little bit. But the big thing is they just want to stay near 500 on the road, protect their home court, and be healthy going into the playoffs, and that puts them in a good position.
Here's Franklin. McGrady covering. Franklin passes to Okoye. And he's knocked off course by the knee. The foul call. He'll shoot free throws. Tim Duncan picks one up.
And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. You know, swept the Lakers, survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, we're seconds away from another championship banner.
And that one's good. Parker.
And tack on a few more points to the lead. Why not? I suppose this is an emphatic showing for this club.
And, Steve, they did it in style. A beat down the entire way.
The feed to Kufis. Well, getting back to the Spurs, they look better and better as they went deeper into the playoffs, Clark. Heat were thought to be the heavy favorites at the start of the NBA postseason. But when they met in the finals, thoughts on who would win, I think, were pretty much split.
Yeah, and eventually, you know, this was one heck of a series because the Spurs not only had experience and talent, but they had multiple options offensively and did such a terrific job sharing the ball. They took the Miami Heat to the limit, but at the end of the day, it came down to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade rising into the challenge.
Well, something you never like to see, but guys, he definitely looks hurt.
So tough to see a player go down with an injury like this.
Yeah, it really is, Steve. It's just one of those things, though. You've seen it happen before as well. And you can tell whatever it is painful for him.
San Antonio making a switch here. Splitters checked in. The shot's good from Franklin. San Antonio's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Good.
Well, this is going to seal the deal. They've really exploded here to the finish line.
You know, once they sniffed out that blood in the water, the killer instinct came right out.
And the pass to Okoye. Memphis moving that ball around. Here we go, one-on-one. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. And that one's good, DeColo.
Well, guys, tonight they came in here and really dictated the terms of the engagement, which is very difficult to do as the visitors.
You're right. That's not usually the way things work in the NBA. It's a great win, and no question, it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here.
He dishes it to Davis. He passes to Okoye. Here's Franklin. And good on the basket. Book it. Here's Pendergraph. Here's Mills. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play, they showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see you next time. And now, our Jordan Player of the Game, Tim Duncan.
One huge dominated for San Antonio Spurs as they dominate blowout for the Grizzlies as the Spurs get another dominate win, 30-point margin, 106-76 as lowest team for Grizzlies points was Jared Bayless and Mike Conley are 11th, but the best player was Tim Duncan with 20 and 11. Tracy McGrady got 21 and Tony Parker got 20 and 8. And that means the Spurs gets dominated for the Grizzlies. So, next game in our hands, we're gonna skip all the way to Jazz. The Mavericks gonna skip it. First game, we got the Nets and the Timberwolves. We got the Timberwolves win over the Nets. Cavaliers and the Pelicans. It is Cavaliers win this game. Bulls and the Blazers. Bulls for easy win over the Blazers. Pacers and the Celtics. It is Pacers dominate the Celtics. Pistons have to face against the Hawks. It's the Pistons. Another hot streak continues. Josh Smith getting the job done. Let's see what's going on here. Kevin Love got double-double, so close to triple-double, along with Ricky and Rubio also failed the triple-double. Darren Williams got 27, and Jason Terry got 20 points. Aaron Gordon's got 24 points, Joe Holiday 20, and 14-10 for Anthony Davis, and Irving got triple-double. Who's the last person? Is Andrew Bynum. Aldridge got 25-11, Rose got 23 and 8, Boozer got 21 and 8. So you see Rondo's got 27 and 12 for Rajon Rondo, and Danny Granger got 32. So and then the Pistons, Josh Smith got 25-13, Jennings got 22 and 9, Marron's got 20, and Millsap tied with 27 points along with Williams 12 and 9 for Al Horford. And finally, Jazz and the Mavericks, it is Mavericks on the roll. Now 5 winning streak continues for Dallas as they dominate over the Jazz. Dirk Nowitzki got 38 and 11, Monte Ellis got 19 points, Gordon Hayward got 21 and 10, and Alex Burks got 20 points. And a good start for the Mavericks. And now for the main event of the day, gonna all the way the next game. We're off the Staples Center in LA. This time we're gonna control just like the last matchup. We're off the Staples Center in LA for the good Pacific Division rivalry. We'll meet again the second time. Features the two of the most Pacific Division rivalry here in LA. This matchup featuring Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors take on Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash of the Los Angeles Lakers. That'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. The first game wraps up as the Spurs dominate the Grizzlies by 30-point margin, 106-76. I'm Andre Kenshin. Say so long for Phoenix from Memphis, Tennessee. We'll see you later on tonight here in LA for the Spurs and the Lakers. This is Andre Genshin. Say so long for 1 second. Say so long for fans from Memphis. It's time to say sign up and peace out. Goodbye, and reminder, we'll see you later on today here in Staples Center in LA for the Golden State Warriors take on the Los Angeles Lakers game. Sign up and peace out. Good night. Goodbye.